Okay, so going into the day, the first trade we ended up taking was some shorts on QQQ. This, I was really looking for a break and retest. Here is the screenshot. This right here is a 1 hour fair value gap or even a support zone. I was really anticipating us to really inverse it and run straight through it just because of the bearish sentiment that came into the open. But you can understand that I got caught up in this drop and I was forced myself to take a trade on the first fair value gap that was presented. I was looking to target a level of sell side on the 15 and 1 hour. Let me remove everything. So market opens right here. Market opens right there. I wanted to take some partials off at this low right here, and then full take profit down here, simply just because it's relatively equal. And these actually ended up getting taken out later on through the day on the PM session. But in the morning, it just wasn't it, because I got caught up in the chop. I wasn't anticipating that ES was already trading higher, and that's one thing that really messed me up, because as NQ was dumping, ES was already high, making higher highs. And why is this not loading? Okay. All right. Hello? What is going on? I just gotta cut this out. Okay, why the fuck isn't this not loading, bro? Okay, there we go. So yeah, ES was already trading higher. ES is rebalancing into this 5-minute right here, causing us to push higher into the morning session. And I was focused on shorts. Because we have this fair value gap right here, and or even like the overall like dump that we have into the open. I was really looking for a break and retest, but we never really got that. So this trade ended up being a 25% loss and $120. This trade alone, a few things I could have worked on is risk management, because this was held past my overall stop loss. I am trying to focus on getting my trades under 25% or even 20%. I'm trying to trade with a tight stop loss, so that means a 15 to even 20% stop loss, protecting my capital and overall looking at risk management or risk to reward. Because why would I risk $50 to make 25, or why would I risk $50 to make like 50? I don't look for 1-to-1s, I look for like 1-to-3s. So this could have been extremely managed a lot more better. This is a slip of discipline on my end, and hope is not a strategy. I need to cut my losers faster. And then another thing is trade the higher time frame. So this trade alone, it was forced because I was looking for the first presented fair value gap that I could use to really go in with shorts. And I was looking to go short simply just because I was anticipating us to really run through this hourly fair value gap, but we never did. It was a forced setup. It wasn't really aligned with my edge, and that is a complete slip of discipline on my end. another thing is, it was too early. It really was too early to take a trade. Too early to take a trade. It was too early to take a trade because there just wasn't enough confluences, and I was really forcing the hourly fair value gap to get inversed and using that 1 minute as a break and retest, targeting 2 or 3 levels of sell side. And it was forced. It really was a forced setup. It wasn't even a setup, honestly. This was a loss that could have been prevented if I just controlled my overall impulse control and just controlled my discipline and my mental strength. Because why would I just take a trade to take a trade? I need to take trades that align with my edge. Someone else's trade is not my trade. This could have been someone else's trade, but this was a trade that I wanted to take simply because of FOMO. It was FOMO because that huge sell-off coming to the open, I really was anticipating a break and retest, but we never got it. And forced setup. And another thing is losses are inevitable. I don't even know how to spell that. Inevitable. There we go. Losses are inevitable. This was a trade that I had to accept the outcome of whether I win or lose. And I did accept it. I accepted the trade, but it could have been prevented, and that's another thing I need to understand and focus more on is trades and probability. The probability of each and every trade setup, which ones are higher, which ones are more probable, which ones are more likely to even run in my position, run in my direction. Because if I'm not trading with the trend, if I'm trying to trade a reversal, then I'm going to be like shooting 1,000 shots to catch one that will actually just end up getting me net negative still. Versus if I just master one setup 1,000 times, then I can become profitable. Another thing is money management. If I'm not managing my positions as best as possible, if I'm not cutting my positions way sooner, way faster, way quicker, then how in the world am I going to become profitable? Because how the fuck am I going to risk $50 to make 25? It doesn't make sense. Risk to reward is literally everything, and 25%, that's a big loss. It is honestly like a full percent loss. It really is, and it hurt my account. It really did. It hurt me, but I have to accept it. Another thing is just the major thing on this trade alone was not high probability. Wasn't aligned with the higher time frame. And this is a mistake on my end. I completely own up to it, and tomorrow I'm just going to be focused a lot more on the higher time frame and but playing confluences that are aligned within my edge on that higher time frame. So let's go to the next trade. Will this load? Will this move? Huh? Bro. What the fuck? Okay, now this trade right here. This was the next trade that I took, and this was a pretty big loss. It really was. So the first thing is risk management needs to be tightened. It needs to be tightened because look at this. This is 31%. This is $286, and DCA dollar cost average into a winning position that ended up being a winning position. So this overall position had the ability, it had the potential to get me back into break even and or even like a little bit in profit. So this first sell-off right here, let's go into the charts. This is one thing I like about TradeZella chart. So look, I ended up shorting it at this high, and then a huge dump right here. Let's go to options chart. So I ended up buying low, $52 for 8 contracts, and then it ended up running to 75. So 52, let's do 75 minus 52. That's 23. And let's times that by 8. That's $184. This trade alone got me in profit $184, and I didn't take any partials because why? Because a few things. Because I was in 2 positions. I was in another position, and I ended up taking another trade in hopes to make more money, But more trades does not mean more money, and that's something that I had to understand, and I learned that, and I paid my tuition on it today, and it sucks because it was a Tesla trade, and because QQQ was dumping, I was anticipating Tesla to dump because Tesla was aligned with more of my edge. But it's harder to manage two positions at once because if I'm looking at both positions and they're both going the wrong way and I end up losing more money, and then it'll be my fault, and then it's just a whole down fucking spiral, and it's my fault. At the end of the day, it's my fault, and I shouldn't have done that. And winner turn loser. Winner turn loser. I didn't take any partials. That's my fault. I was managing two positions that could not have been managed. Because then I'm gonna start using hope. I'm gonna start thinking that, oh, it's only going up to retest. Like, no, like, save your ass. You're bleeding. You're in the red. Close the position. I didn't even put on like a break even. I didn't close this for break even once it started turning in the other direction, and that's my fault. This is my fault. This gave me the ability to get back all the money that I originally lost, to make back the win, but I didn't take it. And another thing is, not only that I didn't take it, it's because I wasn't in that position to take it, because I was trying to manage another position that I was more hopeful on. And that's another thing is, I cannot trade with two positions open, or else I'm going to lose complete focus. Because if I'm not focused on any of the positions that I'm in, I'm going to lose my edge. If I just look away for a second, then I'm fucked. Because, like, coulda, woulda, shoulda. You were up like $1,000 for a flash. You didn't take it. And then it flashes again. You didn't take it. That's greed. Take what the market gives you and always pay yourself. And that's what I should have done, could have done, and would have done if I did not take two positions at once. And the next trade is actually going to be the other position that I was in. So I was in two positions that couldn't have been managed and was up more than my previous loss. And because of this trade, I ended up over trading and taking more trades than I should have, because one or two trades is all that I really need. That's literally all that I need, but I ended up taking six trades taken on the day because of this winner turn loser, and did not take any partials, and will focus on one position at a time going into tomorrow's trading day. Boom. Look at that. Journaling and talking to yourself in a positive way, in a healthy manner, is the best thing to really do. Because if I tell myself, you shouldn't have done this, why'd you do this, this is your fault, blah blah blah, you lost this money, you're a failure, you're a loser, blah blah blah, it's unhealthy. It really is unhealthy. And talking to yourself in a very positive and understandable, acknowledging, intelligent, wisely way, it's extremely healthy. Because yeah, it is a big loss, it is a big win, or not big loss, not big win, fuck, it is a big loss, it is a big dip. It's because I lost $286 on top of the first trade. It's pretty damaging. This was about 10%. 10% of my account just totally wiped. Added on to this trade right here. Tesla trade. Yeah, risk was managed. That's another thing I like about this trade is risk was managed. My risk was managed because it wasn't a 25% loss, and it was a 21. I could have closed it a little bit sooner once that I noticed that it was going in the other direction, but I was anticipating this fair value gap right here to really bounce, and that's honestly what it did. We tap into it, and then it bounced, and that's when I could have closed it, but coulda, woulda, shoulda. And then imagine if I did close it and then use this fair value gap that's shown. Let me go to the chart. So it's like, it's a whole lot of coulda, woulda, shouldas, but in the heat of the moment, what's right is what's right. What needs to get done is just that I manage risk at the end of the day. I focus on my strategy, and I trade with the trend, because this trade was taken on a 5-minute, and I was anticipating this right here. Where's it at? I was anticipating this gap to get respected, and this wick is literally that confirmation that really gave me it. So this trade was aligned. This trade was aligned with my edge. It really was. Yeah, I mean, yeah, it was a loser. It didn't go my way. That's okay, but this trade was honestly the best trade out of all the trades that I'd taken today, because this was more aligned with my edge, simply because of that 5-minute and just a retrace into like a 1-minute. And yeah, it was a loser. That's okay, but because I followed my rules on this, that's what matters. I followed my rules on this. And this was amazing. Yeah, I lost a small amount, but I'm more proud that I followed my rules and I traded with my discipline and my overall edge on this, because over a period of time, if I just keep shooting random shots, I'm gonna be unprofitable. But if I focus on quality setups, trades that are aligned within my edge and aligned with the market, then I will be profitable. So I am totally okay with this trade, because losses are inevitable. I am okay with this loss because this was aligned with my edge. And that's okay. Not every day are you going to win, and you have to accept the outcome of each and every trade. And why isn't this getting marked as reviewed? Okay. And my Wi-Fi is acting up. Nice. Let's connect to my hotspot instead. What the fuck? Okay. Alright. Next trade. Come on. Load. Boom. This is the next trade right here. SPX. $530. 44%. Amazing, right? Sorta. Kinda. I mean, it didn't really give us the best push. It didn't give us the best, run in our direction. Because look at this. It was a bunch of low volume candles. I ended up buying right here on a little dip, and then it ended up running, and it just wasn't the best volume, but it ended up making me the money back, which is a plus. This was taken with my edge too. Yeah, I said that the Tesla one was more aligned, but on the 5-minute, it ended up tapping into where's it at? On the 5-minute, it ended up tapping into this right here, right there. Ended up tapping into it, and on ES as well. So right there. And that's what gave me the confirmation. Yeah, I got in a little early. You can say that I chased it or whatever, but this was me trading with the market. And because I knew that we were going to inverse the fair value gap on NQ, I understood that we were really we were really bullish, but it just wasn't the best trade. And honestly, today it really wasn't the best conditions to trade, and I should have just not traded at all, protected all of my mental capital, all my mental energy, because I went through a process dealing with this trade alone. So I broke a rule on this, and the rule that I broke on this was I traded SPX. I usually don't trade SPX. And the reason why I don't like trading SPX is because the spreads are really big, and one contract alone is like trading 10 contracts on SPY or even QQQ, and I went in with 5. So you can see, like, risk to reward, yeah, I made $530, 44%, but like, if this was a loser, I would have lost about like an extra like 200 or 300. So I'm grateful. I'm really grateful that this trade was a winner. I'm grateful for that. It ended up actually getting me back in the positive. It actually ended up getting me back in the green. This was a good trade. Yeah, it wasn't like the best one because of the volatility, but I can't control that. I can control everything outside of the markets. I can control myself. I can control how I trade, how I think, how I am literally doing everything. It's in my position because it's like a driver mod, you know? It's like, you ever see those videos of like the boosted Civics versus like the Lambos and shit, and the Civic ends up winning? It's a driver mod, you know? It's like, it's how fast can you shift? How fast can you like just drive the car? It's a skill issue. That's what trading is. It really is a skill issue, and once you understand that it's your own discipline, your own patience, and your own like perspective of the overall market, then the world is yours. And that's what I'm starting to realize. It's me, not you guys. It's me. Trading is a mirror. This is a reflection of my own thoughts. This is a reflection of my own emotional stability. This is all me. So I'm grateful for this trade, that it was a winner. But after I took this trade, I had ended up going to sleep. I ended up waking up and was like, okay, let's take another trade. So then I decided to play with some profits, and that I shouldn't have done that, because if I'm green on the day after going through like so much mental baggage like that, being down like about $530 and making it all back, then why am I ended up taking another trade? Just call it a day. So this trade, I was looking for a break and retest, break re. I'll just spell it out. Break and retest of a fair value gap. So looking at the screenshot right here, I was looking at this fair value gap. I was looking at this one, and I was hoping that this would hold as a resistance level, but it didn't. And this trade was a pretty decent loss, 16%. I went in with 2 contracts to manage risk, to make sure that I don't, like lose much of my edge. But I just kept swinging for home runs. I kept swinging for some sort of profit, and my impulse control just wasn't there. Impulse control needs to be worked on, because I don't want to be the guy that takes 1,000 shots and goes like 1 for 100. I don't want to do that. I want to be the guy that masters one shot and goes like 100 for 100. It's Tori Trades talks about it. She said it on like some like Instagram reel or something like that. But I need to be able to master one setup. I need to be able to master my own impulse control, because shooting random shots impulsively because I think that working harder means making more money or becoming more successful, it's not going to work in trading. It really isn't. And this is literal proof. This is a prime example of me today, that working harder in trading does not mean more success, because more success in trading means improving your psychology. It means improving yourself. And that's something that I'm going to be working on going on to this overall month, is my own psychology. It's managing my own money outside of trading, managing my discipline outside of trading, my patience outside of trading, my thought process, my strategic breakdown, my being the analyst. That's really it. It's seeing the market in a different perspective. It's seeing the world in a different perspective. Because the goal isn't to trade every day, it's to take the best trade. None of the best trades, or none of the trades that were aligned with my edge, were even presented in this day alone, because look, it's all chop. On both pairs, it's all chop. Not even today, but yesterday as well. Because look, market opens right here on Tuesday. It's just chop. And then we have a massive dump. And then it reclaims. That's on Tuesday. And then this is on Monday. This is on Monday. Boom, rally, pullback, rally, pullback, rally, consolidation, dump. It's right there. These conditions aren't probable, and I need to understand that and look at it at a higher time frame. Because if I'm not trading with the higher time frame, if I'm not trading with the trend, the sentiment, the overall market, and I'm trading for me, what the fuck am I doing here? It makes no sense. And then the next trade, yeah, I was like, okay, I'm in the wrong position. We inverse. Let's go over here. I was like, okay, we inverse the gaps to the downside. Oh shit. That's where we opened? Oh shit. I could have held this position. Coulda, woulda, shoulda. Anyways, so we inverse this, and I was like, okay, perfect. Bias is now bullish. So then, boom, I enter on like this little pullback right here. I'm in drawdown, and boom, rally. Damn, we open up all the way up there. I was actually anticipating on swinging this trade because I bought 1 day expiration, so it would have expired tomorrow. Huh. Interesting. I wonder what this position is now. Interesting. It's probably like somewhere up here, to be honest. About $1. I live to trade another trading day. These were the results. This is my overall performance on the month. I have 2 losing days, a pretty decent losing day on this day, and 2 days where I overtrade, and that's what I really want to focus on. I want to focus on quality trades, 2 limited trades, 3 quality limited trades, risk management. So that means losers under 20%. I don't want losing positions more than 20%, because then that means hope is a strategy, when in reality hope is not a fucking strategy. And the next thing is understanding that not every day is a trading day. I want to be able to take high probability setups, trade setups that are aligned with my edge, trade setups that are aligned with my strategy. And today it didn't give me any of that, and I forced it. I pushed random buttons because of a hope of working harder meant more money. But it is what it is. I live to trade another day. Tomorrow, we're gonna just follow our rules. We're gonna focus on what we can control. We're gonna focus on the type of trades that we take and the overall market alone. So thank you guys for watching. Like, comment, subscribe. If you guys learned anything, comment down below. If you guys traded today, comment down below how you did. I would like to know. Yeah, thank you guys for watching.